I was still camping at an abandoned tunnel. Before reaching it, I had to get past thorn traps and tall steel fence. I threw my backpack and bike over the fence first, then quickly climbed over it myself before anyone could notice me. The whole place felt isolated and eerie. When I finally reached the tunnel, I realized someone was already staying there. There was a marker, no fishing, but nothing about camping. But obviously, camping there is prohibited. At around 3 a.m., I explored the canal area. 2 people almost spotted me near my camp, which honestly terrified me. I stayed quiet and hidden until they passed. Later, while riding my bike along the canal, I noticed another guy on the path, so I decided to reroute and take a different way back to my camp just to stay safe. I also cooked some coffee, but unfortunately I burned my hand. After everything that's happened that night, that's being the funniest part. Before I proceeded into the tunnel, I needed to investigate the area first. I wanted to make sure nobody could see me, so I stayed quiet and hidden while carefully watching the surroundings. I waited for the right moment before going inside, making sure the area was clear and nobody was nearby. At the entrance, there was obvious thorn traps placed near the fence, making it difficult and risky to get inside. The area looked deliberately blocked off, so I had to be extra careful while figuring out a way through without getting caught or injured. I decided to back off and take another ride on my bike, going back and forth along the area while I waited for the right moment. I used that time to observe everything carefully, watching for any movement or people passing by so I could avoid being seen. After timing everything and choosing what felt like the safest opportunity, I finally made my first move, trying to stay as quiet and carefully as possible. I put my 2 bags over the fence first, then went back to check the path to make sure no one was coming. Once it was clear, I threw my bike over to the other side. After that, I climbed the fence myself and carefully made my way across, doing everything step by step to avoid getting caught or injured. After I picked all my things, including my bike, I investigated the area. I didn't expect it, but the place actually seemed good enough to stay for the night. Except for something creepy, I noticed it looked like someone had been staying there. I investigated it a bit more to understand what was going on. And there was also a GVLA wheel clamp door and car seat. I started wondering how those things ended up there in the first place. I also thought about how expensive the fine would be if someone tried to damage or destroy a wheel clamp like that. And then I spotted what looked like the best place to set up my tent. I cleaned the area first before setting up my tent, making sure it was clear of debris and anything that could make it uncomfortable or unsafe. I started thinking that maybe someone had used this place to hide evidence of a crime, or perhaps a homeless person had taken those items and brought them here. I used the DVLA wheel clamp as a makeshift table and started making my coffee first. At some point, I needed to check what was happening down by the canal because it felt like people were always coming and going in that direction. I went to take a closer look just to make sure nothing unexpected was happening around my camp. I was hungry at that time, so I decided to make my coffee first to help myself feel a bit better and get some energy. Unfortunately, I forgot my cup. See, maybe this is okay for my coffee tonight. Yeah. I love drinking black coffee because I think it's one of the healthiest ways to enjoy it. I grind the coffee beans first, then pour hot water over them and let it brew. The only problem was I forgot my cup, so I ended up using the same container I was cooking food with instead. It's a very nice coffee, right? This is my coffee every day. It's very healthy, this is organic. I think I need to squeeze like this. Oh, oh, shit. Oh my God. Ito yung paborito kong bread. Binili ko sa sa Chinese bakery. It's too expensive. This is 2 pounds. My goodness. Mahal-mahal. Oh. This one I bought from Amazon. Also this one. This is my first time to use this coffee bean grinder. As usual, at 3 o'clock, I will go outside and explore the canal, and I will use my bike. I will ride my bike. Ba't ako ng-coffee? Mas lalong di ko antukin ngayon. I bought this at grocery store in Chinatown. It's Asian food that ready to cook. But I'm already full because of the bread I ate. Maybe I'll save it for next time. It's a bit expensive. It costs about 6 pounds. It's too expensive, right? Self-heating Taiwan braised pork rice. Hopefully, it's delicious. The problem is, if there's a people coming in here, actually there's a fence there. There's still fence there, but I didn't think that place was safe even with the fence around it. I kept in mind that if people came in, I might have to abandon the spot and leave quickly just to stay safe. My goal is at 3 o'clock in the morning. I think I will go and explore the canal because there's a canal at the back there, and this is the train line, tunnel, abandoned tunnel, and I need to go there and explore the canal. because over there's a train station there, and the other side, I think there's a Saint Berry. There's Saint Berry there. It's a big grocery. It's getting dark now, and it's already 8:30 p.m. This tunnel is very good. It's very nice, but still I don't know what is the story of this tunnel. But I'm pretty sure it's abandoned and very old. See? It's so sad. There's a lot of gravity at the wall. It's 10 p.m. now and I need to sleep because, as usual, I have to wake up at 3 a.m. Then I'll go explore the canal. Yeah, I will go explore the canal at 3 a.m. Okay. Using my bike. Okay. Good night. Night night. So I got shocked when I heard my alarm clock. It's 2 a.m. now, so I need to do my challenge. Go, wake up. I woke up at 3 a.m. to explore the place, but something unexpected happened. There were two guys near my camp. We almost ran into each other and I wasn't sure if they saw me. That moment really terrified me, and I stayed as quiet and hidden as I could.
I think that's it.
After a few minutes of exploring the canal, I suddenly saw a guy along on my path. I got nervous and wondered what he was doing there at 3 a.m. by himself. I remembered my workmate telling me there are sometimes bad people around the canal with sticks, but I'm not sure if that's actually true. That thought made me even more uneasy, so I started pedaling my bike faster to get away from the area. So when I headed back to my camp, I decided to reroute so I wouldn't run into that guy again. I took a different path and passed through a park instead. To make sure I didn't get lost, I used my GPS to guide me back safely to my camp.
That's a park. Yeah.
And thankfully, I arrived back at my camp safely. Morning. It was hard to sleep last night because of the train. This abandoned tunnel is near the train line, so it's very noisy. See? That is the early train, so it's time to pack up now. Yeah, because there's a lot of people jogging on the canal. Yeah, beside this tunnel is the canal, and the other side is the train line. Okay, it's time to go home now. I was so happy when I saw my bike still there because I had been worried the whole night that someone might have stolen it. So I packed up everything and got ready to head home. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below and leave a like. If you want to watch another video like this, just check the top right of the screen.